Good evening, everyone. This is yours truly, Jasmine D. Millhouse, and I want to welcome you back to the National Entrepreneur. Ugh, I'm already tongue tied. Let me start that over again. Welcome back to the National Entrepreneur Month show, where I am your host, Jasmine D. Millhouse, and I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. As you're tuning in, if you're watching the replay, if you're in a group, if you're on someone else's page, if someone tagged you on this post, you are in for a treat on tonight because here on National Entrepreneur Month show, I interview so many amazing entrepreneurs, authors, podcast hosts, jewelry sellers, jewelry makers, t-shirt owners, anything that you can think of right here, just to get into the mind of these entrepreneurs, to get a little information about their journey, what got them started. And tonight it is no different, right? If you are here, you see what the topic is. I am here talking to yours truly, Miss Shelley Mache. All right. So before I bring her up, as you tune in, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you are tuning in live, if you're watching a replay. If you're watching a replay, make sure you hashtag replay so I know that you are tuning in with us on this evening. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into this bio. Now, I'm not gonna read all of it, but you're gonna get a gist of what who I'm about to interview. All right, she is a certified life purpose coach, self-awareness expert, and international speaker. Shelley Mache is extremely passionate and dedicated to the empowerment of women through strategized personal and professional development. She is also an author and the founder of the women's organization, The PowHERful Woman. And the powerful is spelled POW, capital HERFUL. All right. She challenges women to take the responsibility for their actions, both productive and counterproductive, of the person staring back at them in the mirror, while reminding them of the fact that they are powerful, valuable, and unique, with the more to offer than just their physical appearance. She is a native of California. She studied psychology and theater of arts at the Cal State University Northridge. She specializes in decluttering the thoughts of her clients to connect their gifts and talents to their passion, all while providing a successful purpose plan and life strategies for personal empowerment and success. Her Everything is a Business workshop is a favorite among women. She's had the privilege of sharing her message of personal accountability and wholeness as a guest of several online shows, including this one. So this is going to be added to her list as well. We have Coffee Talk, Power of Attorney, a Queen's Roundtable, and a Woman Unmasked. So before I dig into the rest of this bio, let me just bring up the woman that is on the bio so that she can tell you about her own personal journey. It is my honor and my privilege that I bring to you Miss Shelley Mache. Good evening, Miss Mache.
Hi,
How
how
are
are
you doing?
you? I am good. How are you this evening?
I am doing good. I am doing good. It's been a busy day, but a busy day of greatness nonetheless.
See, that's what it's about. If you're
That
productively busy, then it's all good.
then it is all good. And yourself, how are you?
It was a productively busy day as well. But I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I got some stuff done. I had to step away. I actually stepped away. I'm kicking it in a hotel tonight to get away from my house. Sometimes you gotta get away from where you are so that you can be able to think and do a little bit of work. So that made it extra productive.
All right. Well, I'm excited about that. So, getting started into the interview, tell us, how do you define who Shelley Mache is?
Ooh, that's good. Um, Shelley Michelle is multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? There are so many different parts that make up me. There's the friend me, the kind me. I'm a person who enjoys laughter. I like to be with family. I love, love, love my family. I'm a hard worker. I'm a lover of Christ. I love the
Mhm.
Lord. I'm hood if you put me in that position. So there are all these things that make up who I am, which is this person who loves life, who loves women, and who wants to be able at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to be that person who lived out who God called me to be. And so that's me in a nutshell. The
Mm.
woman who is your cheerleader, the woman who loves life, the woman who's hardworking, the woman who wants to leave a legacy. Those are the pieces and parts of me that make me who I am.
Mm. Mm. And in all of that, what was your key driving force to become an entrepreneur?
Oh, girl, that's easy. I don't like people telling me what to do. Mm.
Let's put that on out there.
I really have always kind of been that person where I like to do my own thing. I've always been a great employee. That's one of the things about me that anyone who I've ever worked for, they absolutely love. I'm a very responsible employee. I do my job. I go above and beyond. But the thing is, Shelly wants to do what Shelly wants to do. I want
Mm,
to grocery shop at 12 in the afternoon if I feel like it. I want to
right.
go take my kids rollerblading at the park, and I don't want to be all exasperated and tired at the end of the day. So, what really made me want to be an entrepreneur is I want my own time and I want to be able to live in my purpose on my time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the big thing. I wanted to be able to raise my children. I took time to be at home. And so being at home, I began to develop my business a little bit more. I found out who I was. I went through a metamorphosis. I found out that I still had some fractures on me, some residue on me, and all of these things I took and molded into entrepreneurship. But the biggest thing is I wanted to live. And for me, that's what entrepreneurship, that's what it afforded me, an opportunity to live the way I wanted to live.
And then looking back, like over your journey from the beginning of your entrepreneurship, what has, been one part of your life that stands out the most that you would change and why?
That's a really good question, and I'm asked that question a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
my answer really, even when I think about it, my answer has never changed about it. And I don't know that I would change anything. I mean, the obvious answer is who wants the struggles, who wants the pain that comes along with entrepreneurship? Because it's some pain, it's some hardships, it's some head hits, you know what I'm saying? It's some losing of money. There's so many different things that go along with entrepreneurship, but at the end of
Right.
the day, I don't know that I would really change anything because it's through those things that I actually learned something. It's through those things that I said, oh, don't go down that street over
Right.
there. Or I learned that I'm not as breakable as I thought. I learned new tricks, new trades, how to how to create a flyer. Or there's just been so many things that I learned from the heartache, from failures, from pain, from scraping. So I'm not 100% sure that I would change any of those things because then it may change some of the things that I've learned and the outcomes of so many things that only happen because I scratched my head,
Right, right. So
you know.
in knowing that, going through those, no, the tough times and the challenges, and things like that. See, this that 2-year old I was talking about.
Oh, you're so cute.
So and then going through those tough times and those challenges, over that, over your entrepreneur journey and looking at those things that you won't change because sometimes we often, think about, okay, well, if I wouldn't have gone through that, or if I didn't have to deal with this, maybe my life would be different. But we often sometimes fail to realize that it's those moments that make us. But the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
we have to learn to gain the wisdom in those situations from those
Mm-hmm.
experiences to then apply the wisdom, because you can go
Absolutely.
through anything, not gain nothing, and still, but that puts you in a repetition cycle of making the same mistakes,
And
making
you
the
hit it on the head, though.
same.
You said to apply the knowledge, though.
Right, right,
That's the thing right there. It means nothing if I hit my head and yet I run into the same wall and then decide, oh, that was cute. Let me run into it one more time.
right.
And then wonder why my head hurt. Eh. So applied knowledge
Yes,
is the
yes.
difference.
It's a difference.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Okay, now going into the powerful woman, how did you come up with that name and to insert the her in
Hmm.
that? What was that strategy behind that?
Girl, I wish I could give you like a real strategy. My friend, she had leadership. She has an organization called Leadership. And I thought it was really, really cute. And so at the time, I had a nonprofit for teens, for high school seniors going
Okay.
into college. And I had created this nonprofit for them. But I found out I wasn't passionate about it. I found that it wasn't
Mm,
my purpose. And so when
mhm.
I asked God, I'm like, I'm doing all of this stuff. I know this is, that I'm on the right path. At least I think I'm on the right path. What's not right? And God said to me, you're doing the right thing before the wrong people. And yes, and I told God, I said, I just want women to feel
Right.
powerful, Lord. I just want them to feel powerful. And then I
Mhm.
remembered my friend and her leadership. And I
Mhm.
sent her a quick text and told her, I plan to steal that. Thank you very much.
Look, real friends, look, we borrow. Okay, look, thank you
you know,
so much, sis.
And
I
I
most
told her,
greatly
I said,
appreciate
I
it.
said, when you see it, just know.
Right.
I saw that you had the Leadership Academy, and I want women to feel powerful, and so I'm going to create the PowHERful Woman
Mhm.
organization. And she was like,
Right.
okay,
So pat yourself on the back whenever you see it and keep it moving.
exactly.
Yes. And when going through, these situations in entrepreneurship, we face so many challenges, so many ups and
Absolutely.
downs, so, it can often turn into ridicule, people not understanding why you're on this journey, you need to go do this and you need to go do that.
Absolutely.
When you're faced with those moments, that may cause a second or a glimpse of fear, what is
Hmm.
your routine or regimen that combats that mindset?
It's really funny that you asked that question because when I was writing my book, I have a book called 70 Days of Happy. Life is better when you smile. And as I was writing this book,
Hmm.
it took me a long time. It took much longer than it really needed to take because I was grappling with just what you were saying. I was grappling with the idea of, girl, you don't have nothing to say, or who do you think you are? And, who are you to write a book? Nobody wants to listen to you. So, all of these different negative thoughts and mindsets and things began to set in. And I began to push the book back more and push the book back more and not publish the book. And one day I literally had to sit down and I literally had to say to myself, okay, Shelly, give me every single scenario that could happen that's going to just like blow everything to smithereens. And I went
Hmm.
through it all. Okay. Again, nobody will buy your book. People will say you're a terrible author.
Hmm.
They'll talk about you. People will laugh at you. So I literally verbally, I did this verbally. I went through every single thing that could happen that could go wrong. And then I said to myself, now guess what, Shelley? Let's say all of those things happen. And I'm not saying that that won't be painful, but let's say every last one of those things happen. The
Right.
one thing that they can't take away from you is you're still a published author.
Hmm.
And so I said, does the outcome and the solidarity of the outcome, does that weigh the possibility of the what if?
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, what was solid and what was true is I was going to be a published author, whether you like it, whether you don't. But what
Right.
could be Or
Right.
maybe what might happen, what might
Mhm.
not happen, people
Mhm.
won't like it. People talk about you. People do this. So does the solid truth outweigh the maybe fear? And the answer was yes. And so for me, when I get to those points, I literally have to sit down and go, let's do this again. Give me the scenario. What's the worst that can happen? Does the solid truth, the solidarity of it, does it outweigh that possible fear? And I can tell you every time it has. And it has
Right.
pushed me over the edge because you can't take away the accomplishment that's going to happen. You can't
Mhm.
take that away no matter what. If I make a movie tomorrow and it bombs and y'all talk about it forever and say she's the worst actress I ever seen, did I do a movie?
Yes, you did.
And did you see it?
And you then did.
Because you saw it, that's why you're talking about it.
That's why you talking about it,
But I
right?
still did it.
And that kind of goes into, my next question, which is, the topic for tonight. How do you become aware of you and discovering the power within you?
You know, the easiest way to answer that
Hmm.
is by being truthful with the fact that you don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for me to ever discover my power, my strength, what I have to offer, my purpose, all of these things, I have to be honest and say, I don't know it. I don't feel purposeful. I don't feel valuable. I don't feel worthy. Because if I'm never honest with the don't, then how can I begin to walk in the do?
Mm. Mm.
How do I know where to walk? How do I know what to work on? How do I know the frailties in my life? How do I know my triggers? How do I understand me? None of these things are possible until you sit up and go, I'm a bitter woman.
Ooh.
I'm a jealous woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I want what she has, but I'm not willing to work for it. So I like to talk a lot. But see, we're not willing to do that part. We're not willing to be truthful, like really truthful. The
Right.
truth will
Right.
set you free. The problem is you don't want that kind of freedom. See, that's the
You
problem.
want freedom with limitations on it.
You want that sugar coating.
Yeah. You
You
want that.
don't,
You want that sweet free.
you want that sweet free. But you
Mm.
don't want to take the salt that has to go inside the cake mix to make the full cake. You don't want that part. You want all the frosting, the pretty, the this, the that. Frosting to make you sick. You better
Mm.
get to the root.
You want the finished product, but you don't
Exactly.
want them ingredients though.
You don't want them ingredients. You don't want that stirring. And let me tell you what
Right.
else. You don't want
Right.
that heat. Because you
Right.
don't get no cake without fire.
That part. Look,
So
you say, oh,
if you want the power, you have
mhm,
to be willing to
right.
feel the heat. And truth can be that heat sometimes.
What I forgot to tell y'all is that I hope you have something to write with and something to write on. As I do myself over here, I'm taking copious notes. Okay, because I told y'all it's gonna be a dynamic night with Miss Shelley Mache. So I'm excited about. I'm excited. So okay. So with that, I don't want no heat. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. Okay. In business, in entrepreneurship, we all have those clients. We looking for the almighty dollar. We looking, how can I make that? How can I make my name pop in lights? How can I become familiarized with everybody? How can I be out there? And we start taking on everything and everybody that has a dollar sign in front of it, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
$2 or $2,000. How are you to, doing business? How important is it for you to know when someone is or is not your client?
There's a saying that says the money is in your list and
Mhm.
people are speaking your email list.
Mhm.
But how much money can be in it if it's not the client that you need to talk to?
Right.
So the money is in talking to the right person,
Hmm.
connecting with the right person. And in order for you to do that, you have to know who is that person. If I want to open up a shoe store, there
Mm-hmm.
are millions of types of shoes that I can open. I can
Mm-hmm.
open, a shoe for heels. I can open just shoes
Mm-hmm.
for women. I can open
Mm-hmm.
up a tennis shoe store. I can open up dress shoe stores. And that's fine if I want to have all of those shoes there. So people will come and people will go. But
Right.
when I narrow it down and say, I sell shoes, I sell, I don't know, chic shoes, heels for business women who want to step in style. The business women are the ones who gonna come in there. The women who feel like I'm chic, those are the ones that are gonna come in there. The women who want to walk in power because that's what you said these shoes are gonna give to me. Then those are the women that are gonna come in there. I'd much prefer to have 10 solid clients who are going to stay there, who are going to follow me, and who are even going to appreciate an increase in price possibly, than just to have people dropping in and out, maybe here, maybe there. Because even those people who are coming in when I'm selling 15 different types of shoes, when they want something that's more specific and specialized, they're not coming back to me.
Mm.
They're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know, who are you talking to?
Right.
Who's feeling what you feel? We all don't have the same issue, the same problem, the same struggle, the same journey. I can be a self-help, coach, but guess what? There are millions of things that each of us need assistance with.
Right.
I don't need self-help in overcoming alcoholism. I don't need
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
So if you're just self-help, guess what? I'm going to look for the self-help person who has the experience to get me to the outcome that
Right.
I need for the
Mm-hmm.
situation I currently have.
Yeah.
And you
Mm.
need to be focused on that. What is
Mm-hmm.
the outcome that I'm going to get my client to for the current situation that they are in?
Mm. And do you say that has played a part with, knowing how to understand who your client is, and different things like that with their development? Do you say that also plays a role with knowing your purpose, between when you started entrepreneurship versus what your purpose is now? Or do you think there is a difference between those times?
For me, the purpose hasn't changed. The purpose is what the purpose was. What has changed is the fact that I want to bless the masses. I want to go greater. I want to be higher. I want to give more. I want to extend myself. I want to leave a legacy. And so with that, that's where the entrepreneurial side kicked in a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more because I wanted to create a full-fledged business. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to create things that were practical for
Right.
women to be able to walk through and see their journey and see their progress and understand that there's no such thing as a little thing in self-development.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you do with yourself, about yourself, developing yourself, understanding yourself, honey, that's major.
Right.
Okay? It's major. Just for you to say to yourself again, I'm a bitter woman. That's not a little accomplishment. That's
Mm-hmm.
major. And
Right.
I wanted women to be able to see themselves and see who they are and understand who they are. Get unstuck, become unstoppable, know your passion, know your purpose, walk in it, run in it, find your confidence, get out there. And so the purpose didn't change. The fact that I wanted to turn it into a business so that I would be able to touch as many lives as possible
Mm-hmm.
before God takes me up off this earth, that was
Mm.
the change.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. So the purpose remains the same.
Yes,
The mindset and the maturity level that I had when I discovered it is totally
it's
different.
totally different. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
you know what? In all the times that I've asked that question, that is the first time I've, had it been broken down like that. Because if you think about it, what your purpose with when you were sent onto this earth was already instilled inside of you.
It was in
But
there.
whether you knew what it was, who it was, wanted to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
most people be like, oh, God called me to preach and I knew it for a long time and I ran, stuff like that. The purpose was the purpose.
Exactly.
We have our own ulterior motives of what we want to do and what we want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And God is like, no, that ain't what I told you to do. That's not the walking papers that I gave you. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
orders that I told you to live out. These are
Yep.
not the steps that I have ordered for you. You trying to step on your own and you taking a detour from where I told you to go.
Exactly.
And we don't mess up the purpose. We mess up the directions that we taking. We
Because
mess
the
up
purpose is always
the
going to be. But here's the
right.
thing. Here's the thing. God is such a gentleman. He's not going to force you to do it. Okay? He's going to lay it out for you. He's going
Mm-hmm,
to direct you. He's
mm-hmm,
going to put you in position. But ultimately, it's up to you to accept the call. I can call you all day long. It's on you whether or not you pick up. You can look at your phone. You can see it's me. You could, send it to voicemail. You could put it down. You could not pick. You could do anything you want. It's our choice whether
mm-hmm,
or not we want to pick up that phone.
mm-hmm.
God has laid it out for us.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't discover a lot of times what it is that we were called to be because
Mm-hmm,
there's so many distractions in life. There's so many things going on in life. There's so many forces we're working with. There's so much negativity to a lot of times it can be drowned out
mm-hmm,
and we just don't understand it.
mm-hmm,
But it's there. And if we take time to sit, to be quiet, to follow certain steps, to align ourselves, God will begin to open up, crack those pieces for us. The ultimate purpose doesn't change. How we express that purpose and work that purpose, again, multifaceted. It can be
right.
done in many different ways. If I
Mm-hmm,
was born to be a teacher, I was born to be a teacher. But what that does not mean is that I'm sitting in a classroom teaching.
right. Right.
I'm born to be a teacher. I'm a stay at home mom and I am teaching my children and pouring gifts into my children and purposing and giving to my children. Don't take that away. That just because somebody not clapping for you, that you not walking in purpose. Or because somebody not patting you on your back, that you're not doing what you was called to do. You're doing exactly what you were called to do. But in life, we have different seasons, different moments, and the purpose looks different at
Mm-hmm,
different times.
mm-hmm.
But don't squash that. Don't minimize it. Don't despise small beginnings. You are purposed to do what you're doing. And therefore, we should walk and run in that purpose confidently. You teach every time you go to the grocery store and you overhear somebody say something and you give them the proper outline for it. You done changed a life. That's you teaching.
Right.
So don't limit how you express the purpose. Don't limit that because we've been given some fantasy ideology of what purpose is supposed to look like. No, 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 no. Give God room to work the purpose in every season of your life. Y'all better stop because I could talk all day about this. Get me excited.
You see, I sat back in my chair and was like, go ahead.
Look, I'm over here. I'm like, oh, I got my fingers going.
You know how I get real good look. Let me tell you something. For those of you who are not speakers that don't go on stages, when you see us getting going like this and our hands is moving, we in there. We in the
Yes,
vein.
the
We,
fingers, y'all. It's the fingers, like the and I be trying to keep them low, but it's like the and the
right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much who are tuning in with us here live. We are talking to Miss Shelley Mache, and look, she is the founder and CEO of the PowHERful Woman. Excuse the name at the bottom, but we are definitely women of power. Okay, we are women of power. We're women of integrity. We are women that are applying our knowledge and walking in our God given purpose. And that's what we have been talking about on tonight. You
absolutely,
know, is understanding that you have the power inside of you to do exactly what has been instilled in you to do. Women of
absolutely,
power, exactly, Miss
yes,
Tasha. Thank you
women
so
of
much.
power,
Women of
absolutely,
yes, I love it. We have a couple more questions.
yes,
I told you I'm
ma'am.
not gonna hold y'all on now. But my next question is what have you learned or gained from the failures that you've had along your journey?
I think probably the biggest thing that
Mm-hmm.
I've learned is that I'm more bendable than breakable. And that's just been a life lesson. That's not even just in business. That's just kind of been in life. Give you a quick story. I've always been someone who I hate Canva. Hate it, can't stand it. Every time I get on Canva, it's too many things, it's too many buttons, it's too many pictures, and I can't stand it. And so I've always been a person, people are always like, go on Canva, create a flyer. And I'm like, no, you go on Canva and create a flyer, okay? So it's just always been bottling, to me.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I really had gotten to the point where I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so scared of Canva. It's just too much.
Mhm.
And but in my business, I spent so much money on people just creating a simple flyer or
Mhm.
changing something on the flyer. I mean, people done made some money off me, okay? Because I need you to change this over here to over
Right,
there, and
right.
something that took you 4.8 seconds, and you invoicing me. And so I went in one day and I'm like, I'm going to play with Canva and
Mhm.
just see what I can do. And about 900 hours later, and and lots of frustration, I made my first flyer. So I'm twerking around the house, because I'm like, hey, i did
Right.
i did that. And
Right.
so that gave me the confidence to try it again. And
Mhm.
so I made something else and I did something else. Now let's be sure to understand, I am not a designer and I will still hire you to do my flyers, just so you know. But what I learned through the fear and failing at doing something new is that, again, I wasn't as breakable. I had talked myself into, it's too stressful, I can't do it. Every time I turn it on, it's just too much. And that's kind of how my mind works sometimes, when it's just too many things. I'm an ABC person, so you can't put A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I spaz out. So
Mhm.
that's what Canva was to me. And so when
Mhm.
I finally did a flyer and changed something and recreated something, I was like, what? Look at you,
Right.
CHU. Look at
Right.
you. You
Mhm.
doing something. And with that little bit of confidence, that has opened me up to try a few more different things, as far as Canva is concerned. So again, I guess the major thing that I've learned in business and even in failing is that I'm not as breakable. There's some things where it's like I thought that it would take me out. Doing my first conference, I thought that I was just going to have a heart attack. So many things were going on. But then when it was done, when I
Mhm.
was see, Tasha says she an ABC person. Me and you, look, Tasha,
Right here.
me and you. And so being able to do the little things, again, I know my limits, so I'm not getting ready to try to be all fancy, but being
Mhm.
able to pick up on the little things and do small things for myself that
Right.
I otherwise just would have washed my hands of, and I'm just
Mhm.
not gonna try to do that.
Mhm.
That's the greatest thing that I've learned, because
Right.
not only has it taught me about myself, it's taught me to be more patient. It's taught me about, again, something that I stand on so much, the proper words to speak to yourself, what to
Mhm.
say to yourself. People think that just because I'm a confidence coach that I don't have to do the same principles that I
Mhm.
give other
Mhm.
people. And
Mhm.
I do. I have to
Right.
remind myself too. I have to speak
Yeah.
to myself too. I
Yes.
have to look at
Yes.
myself too. I have to see myself too. I have to do all of these
Absolutely.
things too. It doesn't
Mhm.
change because I'm the coach.
Right. Right. I feel like sometimes we even not to take away anything for anyone, but sometimes there are moments and instances where we needed a little bit more than the people that we're coaching. And
Absolutely.
that's just me personally because I'm a self-love transformation coach. So I help women discover their purpose on self-love. You know what I mean? And I'm
Hmm.
like, sometimes I walk around here like, I don't like what you look like. Oh, wait a minute.
And then I
Excuse
have to
me.
go back to the
Right.
same
And
thing, because these are things that I've learned. I've learned
apply
the same
my
thing.
own
Yes, I
principles to
have to apply the
exactly
principle.
exactly.
Exactly. I told somebody, they were laughing at me. I said something was going on. I think I just might have been mad that day. I don't know. Who knows?
Mhm.
But I told somebody, I said, I literally had to go back to the principles in my own book
Yep.
and read it and be like, what is your problem today?
Mhm.
What is wrong with you?
What
Okay.
is it today?
Get it together, boo. Get it
Speaking
together.
speaking of books, ma'am, before we go anywhere else for the next question, I need you to plug all these books that you have written. Okay, tell us Look, it's about what, 7?
I have a couple of collaborations, and then I have a couple of books that I've written. My very first book that I was so excited about, which I've stated, is 70 Days of Happy. Life is Better When You Smile, which is just a wonderful journal of us being able to remember these things and little things that make us smile. And then I fill it with different stories, about my relationship with my father, about forgiveness, and some stupid things that I've done in life. And so it's a compilation of those things, and us being able to remember that our joy,
Hmm.
we forget it's really found in here.
Right.
We're snatching it from out here and
Hmm.
everywhere, and then we're wondering why it flips, like a burger, because
Mm.
we're not stable.
Right.
So we need to understand that that comes from inside. And
Hmm.
then I used to do what's called, was it Monday Moments that I did? I did little quotes on Facebook for maybe
Hmm.
about a year, and people were asking, where can I find all of these quotes? So do you have these quotes, or can I get a copy of your quotes? Well, when people start asking you stuff, you start going, well, let me do something about this. So I created a quote book of some of my most enjoyed quotes. And that is Power Minds, which again was me being able to speak life into myself and into my children.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't end with me. In order for us
Right.
to really be able to change how things are in this world, we can't let it end with us. We have
Hmm.
to allow it to overflow into the next generation and
Hmm.
teach them how to let it overflow
Hmm.
into the next generation.
And I just put the link in the comments for 70 Days of Happy. Life is Better When You Smile. Um, and I think I can get all the links on here if
And
they're
if you want to, actually, it may be easier to go to my website, because you could get a hard copy of the book from my website.
at ShellyMache.com, and I'll put that in
Yeah,
the comments as
yes,
well.
ma'am.
So you all can get her information there and see how to purchase her books. Um, okay, so next question, and who has been your biggest mentors?
Probably, well, the simple answer would probably be my mom. I kind of like her, you know. She a pretty okay person. So she works. But in this season of my life, what I have found is that I'm kind of picking a little bit from a
Hmm.
few plates,
Hmm.
because there are so many different things that I want to learn more of right now. I want to learn more in business. I want to learn more in marketing. I want to make sure that I'm learning more about myself. So there's a couple of different mentors that I'm picking from. Now, I don't recommend that too much, because if you're not really solid in what it
Hmm.
is that you would like to do and what
Hmm.
your outcome is and where it is that you would like to go, it can be a bit overwhelming
Right.
when you're picking from several people. But again,
Hmm.
because of the season that I'm in life, I feel like I can grab a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and kind of put it all together.
Hmm.
So my main mentor that doesn't change would be Miss Brenda, and that is my mother. I think she is a wonderful, amazing person on all levels. I think she gives amazing advice. She's funny, she's witty, and I think being able to see her, it's very interesting when you're a daughter and you're seeing your parents get older, because you
Hmm.
really begin to see them as people.
Right.
You're my mother, but you're also my fellow woman now. You're
Hmm.
also my friend. You're also my acquaintance. And so to be able to see all of these different parts of her as her daughter, it gives me a glimpse of life in my next season,
Hmm.
because she's such a witty, amazing, intelligent, hardworking woman. I pattern many parts of myself after her. So she'll always be the number one.
Right.
But don't tell her that. I don't want her head getting all extra big and stuff. No.
And last couple of questions is, and I know this is a question you've probably been asked numerous of times, but for that woman, or person that is looking to become an entrepreneur, discovering the power that they have within themselves, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them?
If you're looking to become an entrepreneur, like, I know people are always like, do a budget, do this, do that, and that's wonderful practical advice. But in all honesty, if you really want to become an entrepreneur, I would ask one question: are you sure?
Mm,
And the reason I say that is because people become entrepreneurs because we're there's a lot of get out of your 9 to 5, don't stay in your 9 to 5. If you don't have 99 sources of income, then da 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 da. And so we
right.
begin to hear all of these things, and then we don't understand that maybe entrepreneurship isn't for us because
Mm,
we're infiltrated with everything that's coming from the outside. So I would want to ask you, are you sure? And how do
mhm,
you know that you're sure? Are
mhm.
you prepared for the long nights? Are you prepared for the closed doors? Are you prepared for the bankruptcy? Are you prepared for the loneliness? Are you prepared for the no's? Are you prepared for the people not understanding? If you're a single man or woman, are you prepared to be single for a minute? Because don't nobody want to go through all that with you. Are you prepared? Because these are some of the realistic things that can potentially go on when you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur.
Right.
And as long as you understand the lows as well as the highs,
Mhm.
as long as you understand the heartbreak as well as the excitement, the successes as well as the hardships, and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that those things don't phase you, then I say go for it. But my main thing to anyone, you want to become an entrepreneur, make sure that it's because you wanted to do it, and make sure that you're sure.
Mm. Plain and simple and to the point.
Make
No,
sure.
make sure. Look, like my grandma say, make sure.
Make sure. See, that's even
Make
better.
sure.
Make
Mm,
sure that
make
you for
sure
sure.
that's what you want. Right.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you gotta have a made up mind.
You have to. And
Mm,
your why has to be strong enough to
right.
keep you in the trenches, to keep you in the fire. Your
Hmm.
why has to be what motivates you. And it can't be because I wanted to. That's not good enough.
That's real cute. That's real
That's
cute.
it is cute, but it's
Because
not
I
gonna keep
want
you.
right, because I wanted to ain't gonna keep you in here when somebody tell you no, you're gonna get discouraged and you're gonna be upset.
Exactly.
And you won't
Exactly.
understand that a no, multiple no's is a part of that process.
Absolutely. And what's going to keep you getting up when
Hmm.
everything in you wants to give up? You
Right.
have to understand that solid motivational why. What is pushing me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And mid talk she agrees too. She's she, she agrees as
See,
well.
Tasha, no, she knows.
Yeah. Because you have to. If you don't know,
Yeah,
don't even do it. Don't come
you
with
have to.
uncertainty.
You
With
have to know that you
uncertainty,
know. This is one of those
right.
things you have to know that you know. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, if you do get into entrepreneurship and then you find out that it's not for you, don't stay there. Don't stay there to prove a point. Don't stay there because you're afraid of what it's going to look like. Don't stay there because you feel embarrassed.
Come
Child,
on.
run.
Exactly.
Okay?
Mhm.
Close up shop and go.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
You have
And
nothing to prove to
to
anyone.
nobody. To nobody. That's not gonna be paying your bills, feeding your
Absolutely.
kids, none of that. They
You
not
better
staying
go.
over with
You
you.
better go on in
Right.
there and go get that management position someplace. Yep,
Please. I holler.
exactly.
I tried it and I put
And
all
it
I
was
had
not
into it,
for
and it's
me.
not for me.
It's not for me. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying that.
It's
Nothing.
not. And being okay with you enough to know that you don't
Absolutely.
owe an explanation to nobody.
Absolutely.
I don't have to
Absolutely.
defend. I don't have nothing to hide, nothing to defend, and nothing to protect because I
But
am who I am.
that's understanding that power though that
Right.
we talking
Yep.
about. You
Yep.
want so again, you want to know how do I develop that power? By
Hmm.
being honest about the power I don't have. I don't have it in me to do entrepreneurship. That's
Right.
not me. I thought it
Right.
was, it's not. But I'm going
Hmm.
to take my power because now that opens up the door for me to find out who am I? What
Hmm.
was I, created for? What
Right.
have I been purposed for? What
Right.
is my calling?
Hmm.
Don't stay no place that you haven't been called to. Don't do it. I don't care if it's business, relationship, friendship. Don't stay no place that you haven't been called to. Learn the art of bye bye. Learn it. Learn the art and be okay with your no. Let me tell you, that's the most freeing thing in life, being okay with no. No, 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 no. We have to learn how to set our boundaries, stand on our boundaries, say no, and walk in it. Say no and walk in it.
Hmm.
Walk in your no. Embrace your no. I found power, honey, when I learned how to say, nah,
No.
nah, not this
Mm,
time.
we ain't doing
I
that.
found power because I was that person where I felt like if I didn't do something, I didn't want you to not like me. I didn't want to be perceived as, mean or I don't have time. I don't want you to look at me like that. So I'm going to rearrange everything for me and mine so that I can make sure that you get yours.
Ooh.
Now, does that sound right?
Make it make sense. Can you
Please.
make it make sense?
So I had to start reevaluating what my yes would mean before
Hmm.
I said it.
Hmm.
So I stopped saying yes to stuff. I didn't necessarily say no to everything, but what I started saying is, give me a minute.
Right.
Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Let me check my schedule.
Yep.
And so what I did is I decided I will have certain days that I
Hmm.
allow to be my flex days. And
Hmm.
those are days where it's like, hey, if my flex day get built up because too many people have asked me to do something, then boo, you got to catch me on the next flex day. So that is my flexible day where I'm willing to say, hey, I'll put this to the side, I'll do that. And when my
Right.
flex day is full, it's full. I'm not gonna take away from me in order to give to you. No, we either both gonna get it
Right.
or you're going to have to
Right.
find another resource to
Another
get yours.
resource. Right.
And
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with that. I
Hmm.
became freer when I learned how to say and walk in my no.
And there you have it, folks. This has been another episode of the National Entrepreneur Month Show with yours truly, Miss Shelley Mache. Nothing else safe boundaries. Exactly.
Yes.
You
I
got
love that.
to have boundaries
Yes.
because people will hop and tiptoe on your nerve and your line and cross
Yes.
it every time that they have the
Every
opportunity
time.
if you don't
Every
set
time.
boundaries.
And
So,
people who don't respect it, those are people who don't respect you. So why do you want that in your life? You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? Why do
absolutely.
you want that in
Absolutely.
your life?
Agreed. I agree. If you don't respect me enough as me who I am, then you don't need to be here.
Exactly.
That'll
I'm going
pre-
to
that'll
respect
preach right there to somebody.
Yeah,
That'll
I'm going to
that'll preach.
respect your boundary. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to respect your no,
Right.
and I expect you to respect mine. And we're again,
Hmm.
I'm not talking about, not being a supportive person or saying no to everything.
Hmm.
Can you
No.
no, no, no.
Right.
Then, that's different. But I'm talking about really understanding what feeds you, what
Hmm.
feeds your emotions, what feeds, your needs when you need time to regroup, to recuperate, when you need time with your family, when you need time for your work,
Right.
then people need to be able to respect those different boundaries.
Agreed. I absolutely agree 100%. And I want you to know that wraps up our segment on tonight. Thank you so much again for your time. Before we close
Thank
out this
you.
evening, let us know how to follow you on social media and what you have coming up.
Absolutely. You can always keep in touch with me on my website. It's www.shelleymache.com. You can see my name is not spelled the way it sounds, but you
Mhm.
can go there. And on there, I would love to stay connected with you. You can get my ebook, Five Daily Happiness Habits. You can download that for free on my website. I
Okay.
would love to stay in contact with you here on Facebook on my page, which is Shelly Mache, or you can join my group, Purposeful Christian Women, and that is on Facebook as well. And then, y'all, I am a new TikToker. So, hey, come on over to TikTok and Instagram and follow your girl. I keep it simple. It's at Shelly Mache. So, follow me on TikTok and follow me on Instagram. And then let's make sure that we stay connected by you connecting with me on my email list.
All right. Well, you all heard it here. Make sure you go to her website, get her book, get the 5 daily tips of happiness,
Yes,
right?
five daily
Five
happiness
daily
habits.
tips to happy. Make sure you download that free ebook, purchase her other books on her website as well, join her email list, and follow her on social media. You don't know what she has going on. If she may be in your city, she may be speaking, may have a course that you might want to be a part
I
of.
do have an upcoming course and I'll be dropping it for Black Friday. It is
Well,
Master Your Purpose, Master Your Life. And when you finish that course, you will not only be walking in your purpose, you'll be running in it in confidence.
and as these kids say, that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much again,
Thank
Miss
you.
Shelley, for being on here tonight with me and allowing me to get into where you are right now and just take a walk
Thank
on your
you.
journey and see what has gotten you to this point where you are right now. I'm greatly gracious for your time and
Thank you
for your
so
presence
much.
here on National Entrepreneur Month show. That
Thank you.
wraps up another segment for National Entrepreneur Month. You all will catch me back here on tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow because I'm interviewing my sister. I'm
Oh,
excited about it. So make sure you all tune in right here tomorrow night live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Facebook. This has been yours truly, Jasmine D. Millhouse, and I am the CEO of Purpose to Fly. What the fly stands for: first love you, because you absolutely deserve it. And you all enjoy the rest of your Monday night.
bye bye.